Hey, what's up? This is episode 18 of the Throwaway Days podcast. I'm Cody Jones, and I'm sick, but I'm also the host, so let's do the damn thing. In this episode, we had on Raymond Strife. Ray Strife is a rapper from Trenton, New Jersey. I met him probably on one of my first out-of-state show runs, and although neither of us really remember a lot from that show, we've somehow been friends ever since. He's the man. He's, if you've been through Trenton, you've definitely played with him. We got into like some heavy stuff on this interview, which was cool. Ray's recently sober, and he kind of opened up about all that, and it was just really like inspiring to see all the changes he's made in his life for the better, because for years he was just kind of like Ray Strife was the party dude, and it was always a good time hanging out with him, and he was just down for whatever, but it seemed like sometimes he's like, yeah, down for whatever because fuck everything, like it'd be awesome to hang out with Ray, but there was also this like dark cloud looming over him, it seemed like, where he just wasn't looking into his future at all. But I think a lot of that's changed now. It was a really cool, inspiring interview, and I'm super glad he opened up to me about it. We talk about some other stuff too, but we won't get into too much of that because it's a long interview, and we got songs spliced throughout the whole thing. And my phone's going off, sorry. I could take it out and redo this, but I won't because I'm on a roll. But yeah, other than Ray, what's up with me? I got some shows coming up. Saturday, June 3rd, I'll be in Toronto at Handlebar with More or Less, Word Burglar, Fresh Kills, and a bunch more. I'm stoked. That's my first time playing out of the country. I'll be in Toronto, Ontario, up in the Great White North. I'm stoked. And then, man, I feel like terrible. I'm doing a little run with I Alive at the end of July. It's called 4 to the Floor. We're just doing 4 dates to get to Adjust Your Eyes Fest in Cincinnati. We'll be at the fest on Friday, July 28th. And then we're just going to patch some dates around that. Maybe play Columbus or Altoona. Some random stuff that we can get to around his work schedule. So we're doing that thing. And yeah. That's, I got some music that I want to figure out how to package and release, but I don't really know the best format anymore. But, I don't know, figure something out, hopefully. And other than that, I got the internet skateboards going thing. I got a new graphic since the last episode I did, I think. I stocked up. If you're around Pittsburgh, you can go to One Up, you can go to Plank Eye, Union Skate Supplies in Beaver, Flat Bar Skate Shop in Carnegie, Arc Skate Shop in Erie. All those cats got my new boards. I swear one of these days I'll build an online store. But, if you got a skate shop or your homie skate shop or whatever, if you want to skate, hit me up. Let's figure it out. Let's do the damn thing. Because all I want to do is skate, rap, podcast, and ride my bike. Which might be a little much. It's 4 things, but whatever. But, yeah, I'm just kind of breezing through this interview because I feel like shit. Or this intro. But hopefully that's enough to get you intrigued on the Ray Strife interview. You probably, if you're listening this far, you already know him. But quick intro, there you have it. Ray Strife interview coming up. Height Keach next week or next whenever an episode comes up. So thanks for checking it out, and stay posy, bro. Dude, it's going to be weird to do this now that we've been like talking all day already.
Yeah, we can like rehash.
We covered everything.
That's okay, man. I'm a professional.
Yeah. I guess we didn't like talk about like origin stories and stuff like that. You're Ray Strife.
Yes.
From where in New Jersey?
I was born in Trenton.
Oh, you're born in Trenton.
Lawrence.
From Lawrence. That's like where you spent your like formative years as a kid.
Growing up, Lawrence High.
Yeah. And then I know it's been covered in like other interviews. Like I don't know. It's like you're in high school and played in bands and shit like that, and you're like every punk rapper.
More or less. Like I was in high school rapping and playing in like fake bands.
Yeah.
And then we like got out of high school and made it happen instead of like
when did
being in a garage.
Yeah. When did Crack Filler happen?
Yeah, right around then. I was like 19, and like we played and thought we were good, but like we were probably really awful. But it was just me and a couple friends, and most of them are not even friends anymore, like at all.
Yeah.
Like the kind of people where you like have to, you grow up and you like think you're good friends because of like a common
because they
like,
live
skateboarding
10 miles from you.
Not even like a block away. And
Yeah.
then it's like you slowly realize how garbage they are, or
Yeah.
like, or just have different interests. Some of them, you know. And that was like right after high school. A lot of the people in Crackville were still in high school. It was like an age gap for a couple of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would play shows and people like thought we were so awesome and we were like trash. Like one of the worst bands.
It was like a rap rock fusion type thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it just like kept leaning more punk than like we were even into punk.
Really?
I think just because like it's easy to start playing punk.
Yeah.
Like to a point, you know, it's like not good punk.
Right.
But like it was just a little easier to make that progression.
Sorry for what no one knows about. Sorry for the bags I can't throw out. Sorry for what I wanted to do. Sorry for the thing I think of you. I'm on the side me. I'm smart and not me. Mannerisms, actions, feelings, look the body got me. We don't like these last ones, don't give me up, Scotty. I don't wanna shoot this system, man, it's kinda odd. See, I'm sorry for what no one knows about. Sorry for the bags I can't throw out. I'm sorry for what I wanna do.
And none of us, like Caleb was like listening to like Primus and I was listening to like Jurassic 5. And like the kid Taylor, who was the original drummer, was like listening to Nirvana, and Mike, who's like the youngest kid who's in like LA now and he like edits like TV shows.
Yeah, I think
like,
I've seen some of this stuff through you before.
Yeah, probably. He was like the only one into punk. It's like him and my little brother are best friends, and like
Yeah.
I always like tell like the people like I'll talk about how cool my brother is, and they're like, yeah, but like, where do you think he gets that from? You're his older brother, and I'm like, no, like he was into shit before me,
That's hilarious.
and I got into it because of him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny, man. That's awesome.
So that's the way. I was just a loser, man. He was cool. I guess that's what all it boils down to.
So how long did Crack Filler last before? This is like breezing over a lot, but there's like so much other shit.
It was probably like 5 years.
Yeah, and
of like different incarnations.
Did you move to like more so like north-ish Jersey for a while?
New Brunswick is like 45 minutes north of here.
Okay.
It's like Rutgers. It's like a huge college town.
Oh.
And it's got like a huge basement rock scene, and like huge bands have come out of that scene. Like, all different stuff, and it's just like when we moved up there, it was like everyone else was moving up for college, and we were like moved up like strictly
to play
shows.
For new kids every 4 years.
And there's other people like that there that like never leave. Yeah, I mean that was cool too. It was more me, like I moved and the dudes in Crackville like didn't, and I moved up there with other dudes in bands.
Yeah.
And, like, but Crackville became like a Brunswick band because
they would just
now
go
I was there,
play all the time,
booking shows. So that was cool, and then like it just kept getting stupider because like there's no like manual. Like now there is. Now you could like download a manual on like how to be in a punk band, but like there was like no manual, so it's like we just did everything wrong for like 5 years. Like overplayed.
Oh yeah.
Didn't record enough. Didn't write new stuff enough. Like we kick someone out, replace them, then hate that dude. And like it was just like real like a bad high school movie about a band.
Yeah.
Like if this isn't your life, you gotta take a fucking walk. You know what I mean? And like
you kick people out for not being committed enough.
Just because we were just like that's all we were doing.
Yeah.
We were like working like shitty jobs and doing the band. Like me and Caleb mostly.
Yeah.
And like Mike, you know, was like working on his life and his future. Eventually we kicked him out for like not having time, you know, and like he's like
the only dude in a punk wasn't punk enough for the band
just
anymore.
Like going to Temple for film, you know, we're like, fuck that shit, man. This should be your full time. This fucking garbage band, you know.
So how long did Crack Filler keep going before you started like transitioning into like rapping by yourself?
Well, when we moved up to New Brunswick, that was like how I met all like the dudes in Division East and like Slam Corp, and like GDP was like fucking 17 or something, and he just got off like a European tour with some band that he drummed for, and he's like,
really?
check it out, I rap, and he booked like Crack Filler.
Yeah.
And he booked I think Killing It was the band John and them, like my old friends were in. I just remember talking to him like, I'm in Crack Filler, and he was like, I know who you are, and he's like, check out my CD, and it was that first one, fuck, I forget the name, like an asshole, but it was like me and the dude John from Killing It in my living room in New Brunswick, like, this is the dude who booked that show, like, rapping.
Yeah.
And, like, John's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, yeah, he handed me the CD, like, why else would he, you know, because he has that, like people would compare him to, like, Aesop Rock, and I didn't get it back then, but now if I listen to that stuff, I'm like, I kind of get it. He's, like, kind of got, like, a lispy thing.
Yeah.
And, like, but, like, we were, like, blown away. I was blown away, but, like, the more Crackfiller ate shit and got cornier to me, and I was like with like all these elitist punks, and like I was friends with them though, but I was in like this rap punk group. The more it was like in my ear, like just fucking rap, dude. Like your band sucks. Just rap, and then like it just fell apart. Like it was so hard to keep together, and we just kept going through like other members. I remember we played with this dipshit Kid Oreo, and like we all hated him, and like we played the show in New Brunswick, and it went so bad, and like my friend Bird, like out of jail, like hit the kid in the kitchen, and then like Caleb just like looked miserable, and I remember he left without saying anything, and I remember going to my girlfriend and being like, Caleb's gonna quit the band, and then I'm not gonna do it anymore. And it was like literally my life. It was like 40 hours a week for the band and like 2 hours for work or whatever. And like that's not true. It was still like 50 hours for work too. It was like at fucking 8 a.m. I got a phone call from Caleb, and I just like showed my girlfriend. I was like, this is it. And like it's like amazing how well I get to know people. Like, and I was like, totally understand, like, fuck that band. And I just, like, didn't really do shit for a year. Like, I just, like, wrote raps. And actually, looking back, I wish I could change it. Like, I wish I could write raps the same way I wrote for Crackfiller, which is kind of what I do now. And, like, because I was so, like, felt like such a transplant that, like, I felt like I had to fit the structure, like, a proper hip-hop structure. And I feel like all my early writing, like,
trying to be more, like, rappy rap.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of, like, loose and whatever.
Yeah, it's like actually like, you know, me expressing something instead of trying to fit a mold. And like I like kind of regret a lot of that early shit. Actually, a lot of it sucked, but like I was in with some cool guys doing cool things like in that area.
Yeah.
So like I kind of got like instant recognition.
Yeah.
And I was throwing a ton of shows on my own. So like I was getting a name for that like out of our basement.
Yeah.
And, like we had a pretty famous basement for like the good shows my roommates would throw.
Okay.
So like I'd put on like a rap show and they'd be like, this basement is crazy. Like I was doing something great too.
Yeah.
And like so it just kind of like worked out that way. And then like when I wanted to put my first, like we did a Crackfiller tour, and I booked a lot of it, and it was like the first time doing a DIY tour, so it was kind of like a lot of long drives for not a lot of dates, and I had a great time, and like it was a good experience for all of us. And so I had a little experience when I started booking a rap tour, and like half the dudes from like Division East can't get, like you think they got their shit together, but they don't at all. So like GDP was kind of like, yo, man from somewhere else and Shape, like you guys should all do that tour together. And like so I ended up just like booking this tour. Like
was that your first rap tour with all those dudes?
Yeah. And
with
like,
GDP, Shape,
well, GDP
MFSC?
only did a couple dates with us in like Michigan, and it was like Frank and Shape, and then like Larry Hobson for part of it, and you know, Swiss was there. Went to like my minivan that I was like delivering pizza in. But I like booked that whole tour through MySpace.
Oh yeah.
Like Facebook like wasn't even like popular. My bad.
No. Yeah.
It was like you needed an invite to get on Facebook back then. I don't know if you remember
yeah,
those
I
days. And yeah, but like that's the best thing that came out of that tour was probably meeting Rabble Rousers.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was like one of the first dates.
Rabble Rousers came up in the Joey Smooth interview.
I saw.
For anyone.
Yeah, that's how I know. Like I know him through you guys, but like then through them too.
Yep.
It was like such a small world with like DIY rap, like 2008.
Yeah.
And like that's exactly when probably the year we did that. No, it was 2009 because I rapped about it. And I said because we called it the Eat Shit Tour, and I was like the Eat Shit Summer Tour 09 where we eat sheets and sleep on your floor. That's fine. I'll never forget that. So I know what year that tour is.
That's awesome. I should do that with every tour because I can't remember any of them.
I thought that was like the most clever line, but
Yeah.
You got to remember I'm on tour like 8 years ago with Frank and Shape, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Whatever, everything's cool, you know, like they're just so like not giving anyone an inch. Like, well, we're really great. I don't know about you. You know what I mean? And then like we'd be drunk and they'd be like, you're the best, like most humble, best rapper I've ever seen. And I'm like, I won't tell you said that tomorrow morning. But like, yeah, that was cool, man. I met a lot of clowns on that tour too, and like really Rabble Rousers was the only lasting relationship.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think we were there that one time. Frank like super clicked with them, and I was just like blowing them drunk the whole time. Like, you guys were amazing. Like to the point where I felt like they didn't like me. Like they didn't respect me. And I think like that year Mule died. It wasn't even that long after.
Oh, really?
Like we met him for like that weekend, and then like he like died. And I remember getting a text from Beirut, and I was like, Jesus, like I loved meeting you guys, and we bonded. And like I remember like having a real respect for Mule because like he was literally like we were all drunk and like doing drugs, and he was like, well, I gotta get up early because I teach like hip hop and graffiti at like the YMCA.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys should come like talk, like do a class and like talk to the kids. And we're like, fuck yeah. And we just like slept till 2:30 and like didn't go at all because we were up till like 9 a.m. fucking partying like complete scumbags. And I mean, I can't even count the amount of times I went down there to be with B Rude and shit. Like mad times. He had this house, and it was like his mom lived somewhere else, but it was her house. And then like we did mad tours there, and then one year it was like his mom lived there again, and we still kept doing the tours there. And we'd like wake up to his mom cooking for us. And
That's
it was,
awesome.
Like, same house, totally different dynamic. Yeah. And it was awesome, dude. His family was rad. Like all those guys. West Virginia is like whenever I tell people like I play in West Virginia to rap,
Yeah.
they like
Don't
don't
believe
understand.
It. Yeah.
how
Charleston's
that's
like
possible.
a hidden
Yeah.
gem. That's tight. So I know you did that one, and then what? So like, where are you living at this point? Are you still in like?
That's still in New Brunswick.
New Brunswick?
The second house, like we call it America.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the most famous house. Like there's like bands that like played there that are like still like doing big shit. Like
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I remember those days. The America House. We like knocked out all the walls in the basement. It was like a giant venue. It was like fucked up. It was like an office building converted into a house.
Yeah.
So it was like 8 bedrooms, and we lived with like 14 people.
Oh
it was,
my
like,
God.
retarded.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we
that's
broke
terrible.
every bathroom. And like people would just like, it would just be like, we're only gonna do 2 shows a month, and we would do like 29 shows a month. It was
That's
like
terrible.
it was nuts. And a
Yeah.
fist fight every night. I just like wake up. Like GDP lived there with me for a while, and like I remember I woke up one day to him just like throwing a throwing knife into the living room wall that we weren't using, and like we just like were in our underwear day drinking, throwing knives into the wall. Like the first month we moved in, like
Yeah.
it was just like a dirty mattress in this one living room for like half the year.
Thanks.
It got pretty gnarly, man. The house got condemned
Yeah.
eventually.
Nice.
There's like shit in the tub and the walls, like from it being broken,
Oh,
and like
God.
the fuse box hadn't been updated from like the 50s. And like when the dude came to condemn us, he's like, yeah, you got like sewage all in the walls, but like I would have condemned the house just on the fuse box. So this is the house we're doing 29 shows a month in.
Yeah. Luckily
Like
you
with
didn't
these
burn it down.
Yeah, and like this brick oven of a house that could have killed us like in any
Jesus.
moment. It was pretty cool, you know. Like
Pretty cool in hindsight.
yeah, I loved it.
So do you think that's probably when I met you?
Probably right on
after
the
you,
like,
whenever you got condemned or convicted.
like right on
from
the
there?
ass end of it, probably.
Yeah,
Like,
because I met you at that. It was like a big Jersey show. It was like one of my first times going
Savage
out.
Rock School.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where I met a lot of dudes who are doing cool shit now, like Screw Tape.
Yep.
All those guys.
I think Static Bros were there that night.
Yeah.
JFF,
That's
Robust,
how I met him, too.
Skins, bunch of dudes.
I remember meeting Jeff and
Grizzly
doing a tour
Adams.
with him.
What's that?
I remember meeting Jeff and doing a tour with him.
Yeah.
And then like being
Did you guys come through Pittsburgh on that one?
The first one, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we ate the Swedish meatballs, right? Or was that a different?
That was a
time?
different one.
Yeah.
The Swedish meatball.
But I remember like being reminded that I met you by him.
Yeah.
Like on that tour because
Yeah.
we were met the same night.
Yeah.
But because I was all fucked up every time. I remember it pretty clearly now, but I think that's just like
And
you
being told the story.
reconfigure your
Yeah.
memories. Yeah.
Whenever you were doing those tours, were you doing them as like like Raymond Strife? Or I know like at first your name was like
was
To
like-
Live and Die in
Yeah,
NJ.
I think for a lot of them it was billed as To Live and Die in NJ.
Okay.
And
But
probably-
did you have your release then, like Self-Loathing Egomaniac? Or
No.
like how far along?
I wonder if, I guess I probably did have that around then. Because I'd like to think I didn't do a 30-day tour with no merch. I think I had shirts and the fucking, and that album.
Okay.
I think I had the sampler for the first tour that like I just like hand drew. And then, yeah, I think I probably put that out by then. And I think it makes a lot of sense because I think I was like, sleep. It's funny that like I must sound like a crazy person. Like, oh, there's the equation. And like I think like I was like staying some nights at Camille's parents, some nights on the couch at Champs, and some nights at my friend's house off Stuyvesant Ave.
Yeah.
Because I was like homeless. I was
Yeah.
like just slumming around because like to do drugs and drink because I didn't feel like committing to like moving in with my girlfriend, and I didn't like have like I just didn't fucking feel like doing the work. I was
Yeah.
like, it'll work itself out, and I just like drink and then fall asleep on the couch and then go to work. And it was a couple months like that, and I remember like none of our artwork, or anything I wanted for the CD worked out, and a minute like throwing all the artwork that became the CD together last minute for the whatever company we used to put it out, and being like in Camille's bedroom, like getting the fucking shipment of CDs.
And got them shipped to her house.
Yeah, like me and Swiss Cheese like doing the fucking.
Oh, Swiss
artwork
was there.
setup.
Swiss
Yeah.
didn't have a place you could do.
No, he was just there to do that.
That's
No, we
hilarious.
couldn't meet anywhere that he was staying at. That
Yeah,
was,
I see that.
We had to do that at Camille's. We could never do that.
Oh my god.
At two grown men's house anywhere else, you know.
Yeah.
Just this little girl's parents' house that I lived at.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had the money to spend on that though. I couldn't live anywhere, but I could put like whatever fucking $1,000 I put into pressing a run of CDs or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of the topics on that were like partying, drugs, like
Yeah, and that's
just
a lot
like
of the stuff I was writing. Like I was like, I just gotta rap. Like I
Yeah.
just gotta make people laugh
yeah,
with lots of syllables,
yeah,
and every syllable will like have a phonetic rhyme.
mm-hmm.
And then it'll be a punchline, and like if 8 bars suck, that like 10th the 10th too or whatever will like be so funny
yeah,
that it was worth the setup. And that was like how I wrote songs. It's
Yeah.
like garbage. It's
Yeah.
fucking garbage. Like I listened to that CD and I'm like, there's like 3 songs I hate,
yeah,
and the rest I'm like, this isn't that bad. But
Yeah.
it's not like the kind of music I wish I was making like ever. Like I definitely wasn't even happy with it then. Really.
really,
I was surprised how well received. It was like because I was like a punk rapper.
yeah.
So
I mean,
people would be
like
like,
punks
"This is
didn't
nuts."
set the bar very high for
Yeah,
rappers.
it just would be like people were so pumped that I was rapping
Yeah,
that, and it was like funny, and they just didn't care. Like even if they were super into hip hop, it was like, well, he's so funny,
yeah,
and it's like nothing of what I wanted to be talking about.
yeah,
There's one song on that album that's like Mike made a movie at Temple, and it was like loosely. I didn't know till after that it was loosely based on like me and my brother.
yeah. I
But, like
I
parts
remember
and
this.
shit, and he asked me like the song, but like it's like about a lost of innocent story.
The loss of innocence. The loss is infinite. Carrying your cross to a dangerous incident. Rearrange the instances to your brain. Significant standing in the rain. The pain is so ridiculous. It's ironic. Tragedy's got my world in atrophy. It's your brother's turn to burn. Will you stand in apathy? I won't. For my crew, I catch assault and battery.
Can you like write a song that'll be like the end credits and rap? And I like wrote a song like about like being like it's like a fucking super depressing beat with like rain on it and like
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and I like fucking rap about like it's basically like being like friends with punks and rapping and like being drunk in like a depressing vein, like in like the other side of
Yeah.
like this is all we know, you know, or whatever. But that song's actually not bad. And I like doing that live too, but it was like cool that it was for his movie, but that's why it's on that album.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a good fucking movie. It's called Held Back. I think you
Held
can
Back.
YouTube it.
Okay.
It's only like, I don't know if it's even like more, it's like an hour and a half or something. But
Oh, crazy.
I'm even in it, like I make a face like, who's this nerd? Like walking in our punk house, like the worst acting moment.
Wait, you're the nerd?
No, I'm like one of the drunk older punks. Like, what's this clown doing? Like, and then like we see it's like the guy's brother, and we're like, oh, what up? Good to meet you. Like it's so corny.
It's funny, man. So okay, so you weren't happy with that whenever that one came out, but I feel like it was like a while before you did anything else,
I
right?
didn't do anything else. Like I'd start.
What do you contribute that to?
I would like start making stuff with like someone, and like we just like wouldn't like the recording would just be like would never get it together.
Yeah.
We'd do like one thing, and we'd like tomorrow, and we wouldn't do it for like a month.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I feel like I just gave up. Honestly, like I would be like it'd be cool to do something, but whatever. And I'd just be like partying, and I'd be like, well, I can't write without experiences, you know. And I'd just like party for like 8 months, you know. And like it would be like Swiss cheese, like we'd do like half a track.
Yeah.
And we'd be like doing drugs and drinking, and we'd be like that shit sounds dope.
Yeah. Then you
Whatever, time
like-
to break, you know, like fucking 20 minutes worth of work,
Yeah.
and then like party till like 6 a.m. and then go to work or whatever. And I guess like eventually, I don't know, I have like a real like nothing matters mind state, so I didn't care. Like I never had a project in mind. I was always like envious of like Robus and like Frank and them, because they'd always like be like, well, then my next thing is gonna be, oh, this is gonna be the concept, and this is gonna be like, even that it didn't have to be like a fictional thing. It would just they just have a plan.
Yeah. And I feel like you were just like, I'm just rapping, playing
Just
shows.
I talked to Jeff about that too. He's like, oh, a lot of these beats suck, and I'd be like, well, even if a beat's like lackluster, I'd always take it as like a challenge.
Yeah.
Like I can rap over, and I think a lot of my shit suffered for that too.
Yeah.
Because like it just wasn't like shit that hit. It was just me rapping over whatever people threw me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It was just. I think I'm Sorry I'm Broken is actually a really good release. But
Yeah.
a lot of it's pieced together from like what I recorded with Swiss and then like throughout. And then like it was like 2 years later, Wade was like, I can help you finish that album.
Okay.
And I started putting Wade on shows
Yeah.
and stuff, and he was just like grateful, and we got that album out eventually. Like it was like I just started like buckling down, like I'll finish this.
So for reference, when did Self-Loathing Egomaniac come out?
I don't know.
Like
Probably
2000.
2000, maybe later in.
11. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
guessing.
let's say 2010.
2010, and then I'm Sorry I'm Broken was probably like 2013.
Yeah, maybe even later.
Really?
Maybe like 2014.
Yeah.
Because I remember the girl from Crayon Beats was like, I think she reviewed Self-Loathing. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
was like,
I remember
cool
this.
album, but like, what have you been doing for 4 years? And I was like, drinking.
Duh.
Yeah.
Haven't
like,
you heard the songs on
fuck
there?
does it look like? That's
Oh,
like
man.
exactly the conversation. And I remember like, it's seriously like me and Gretchen just breaking up. That was 4 years. Like to
Yeah.
me, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In my brain. It was all fucked up for 4 years. It was the same thing with that. It was like I put the album out, went on every tour possible, and like had copies of that album.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a bunch of tours with you that early, I think. Right?
Yeah,
And,
with for I'm Sorry I'm Broken.
Yeah, well, no, the fucking.
Oh, Self-Loathing.
I think I still just had that. I think we.
Yeah, I think
we
you
did a
like
couple.
one time you made like some demo that was between.
Yeah,
That was like
just a couple
Autumn
of
Down
extra
and Out or
things.
something.
Yep. And I just do all these tours with no point.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. It's like
it
what
was-
am I promoting here?
it
Like this
just-
shit I'm not even.
It
proud
didn't even
of
occur to
anymore?
me. It was like just keep doing what you're doing. Do it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Just get drunk in fucking West Virginia again.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you. Like I couldn't tell you how many tours I've been on,
Yeah.
and they all blur together. It's
Yeah.
more than 10,
Yeah.
and I couldn't tell you like what year I was where,
Yeah.
or like who I was with half the time. Like I have like these vague memories
Yeah.
of each spot. If something like the shows don't ever stand out for me.
Yeah.
Like I'll see a footage of something, I'm like, that was fucking crazy. Like when did that happen? Because like that was like no concern. I just thought like I deserved it. Or whatever. Even though I was making garbage music, I felt like I earned it.
Yeah.
And like, but every like maybe like a cool night like with a band or something would stand out, or like who I met, or like some awkward shitty moment stands out.
Yeah.
But the actual point of the fucking tour, I could
Like
they're
your
all
set,
blurred
your
together.
shows.
It's like a decade of blurred together.
Do you think it's all blurred together just because you didn't really have like a goal in mind and like it's like I don't know.
I think it's just like a mixture of like playing nonstop, whether I was on tour or home,
Yeah.
and just being trashed.
Yeah.
And like it's like streaks too. It's like if you hit a patch of good shows, it's not like I don't take shit for granted now, but like you kind of take it for granted. You have like a good
Yeah.
6 months,
Yeah.
and you're playing every other week for a while. Like towards the end of like like for when I'm Sorry I'm Broken was coming out, I was playing like 4 shows a week. Like even wherever, New Brunswick here,
Mhm.
Atlantic City here, like I'll play here twice a week. I was just blowing myself out.
Yeah.
I think like it super hindered myself for a while
Yeah.
that year, and I just didn't care. I just in my mind I was like, well, what else are you alive for?
Yeah.
This is the only thing you have. Either do it or don't do it. And now like I'm in a very different mind state. But like then I was like, it was like I'm not good at shit. I don't have any skills. I barely have a job. Like I just couldn't see past anything immediate, like at all. Like
Yeah.
and like 2 days from that day would be like fucking unheard of for me to like think about the future at all. It was like I'm probably a fucking nightmare to be around. And I can't believe like I still have the friends I have. I can't believe like the girls who stayed with me
Yeah.
where like they'd be like, let's go like to dinner Saturday. I'm like, well, I could die Friday. Like
We better go Friday.
yeah, like a fucking nightmare, man. Like, and I always think like I didn't take myself so seriously, but it probably was like so whiny and fucking
Yeah.
like, oh, well, you never know. Another day's not promised. The road's my wife, you know. But yeah, man, I think it blurs together because there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you
was-
were like booking the shows too, which is like
What's crazy is how much I did get done all fucked up.
yeah.
I like some stuff really suffers. It still does now. Like I'm busy and like not every show of the month's gonna be a good show.
Yeah.
Like I'm way less busy like for me.
Mhm.
Like I book other stuff for people because like if I owe them a favor, if I like them.
Mhm.
But I've tried to. I don't spread myself as thin as far as like live performances,
Yeah.
and it goes a lot better
Yeah.
every time now.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but like we played some show and you were like on stage just drunk, and you wouldn't like forget a line, but you would just go,
Because I didn't care. Yep.
And it was like, damn, dog, like people are like paying to see you do this.
Nope.
And,
Yep.
yeah.
Totally. I remember doing that a lot, and I remember like towards the end of like I'm sorry, I'm broken stuff.
Yeah.
Like hating myself so much on stage that like I'd be skipping songs, and I'd be like, fuck you guys, fuck me, like some real prima donna, fucking fuck this is garbage, that song sucks, do half the verse, I hate this song, just do exactly what you're saying. And some people like got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But eventually it just became like so fucking over the top, like I didn't give a fuck about even doing the live show. It's like a year ago this was all I had, and now I'm like, now I'm mad at myself for even doing that.
Yeah.
It was just like a nightmare. Like, I don't know, man. I think I have like severe mental issues or something. They're like maybe bipolar issues that like I self-medicated with alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like get a grip on that. It's all a fucking blur, even while you're doing it. Especially if you're like 3 sheets to the wind, like just up enough to get up there.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like 4 beers deep.
And you're booking shows all over the place, like all over New Jersey. Like I remember one of the first times you had me and JT out. We played like All Call or something like that, and like it seemed like every time I would come out it would be at like a different spot, and then finally you guys like settled on Mill Hill and kind of just like planted some roots there. Like how did all that happen?
I feel
and,
like every spot would fall apart.
Yeah.
Like I'd be, and like actually like to my as a compliment to myself, it's like I did just keep going and find a new place somehow. Like it would usually be through somebody who like wanted to book me or who booked Crack Filler back in the day.
Okay.
And I'd remember a spot or see if I can get in with them, and it would really just be like to recreate the model I had in New Brunswick, where I had a space and I could book people who could book me later.
Yeah.
And I would just keep it going. And like All Call was the shit for a while, man. It'd be slammed in there sometimes, and then the model started like falling down, and like honestly what happened is like other rappers got in the door, and like it just like wasn't a rap bar. So like there was like a firefighter bar. So like the dude who owned it was like, I'm done with this. And like the more like kind of hood it got, the more like he was like, fuck this. Like at least like the Ray dude has bands when people rap, and like you know what I mean. And it just became like, man, I don't want to say it was a race issue because he was like a pretty cool guy, but like maybe it was because he just,
I know
like,
what you mean.
Kind of like he was cool to me. Maybe that's because we were the same color. I don't know. Like, that sucks. But like I remember like I was booking a show with this dude So Dope who like does stuff out here, and we don't really talk anymore, but he's a cool guy. And we were like had this show together at All Call, and he did things like a very rap promoter way, and it was like not DIY enough for me. So I was like, oh, this is like weird. He wants to do this kind of flyer. I just want to do like a hand drawn. And then eventually like we were like compromising and doing like a half and half show, and it was gonna happen. And he called me and he was like, dude, I just walked past All Call and it's closed down. Like the dude had all these events booked, and he's like, nope, and just like sold the bar.
Really?
Like right out front, like no one knew. Like people showed up for like work. And it's like such a great venue. It had like enough of a stage, enough of a room.
Yeah, I remember it was like off to the side and stuff.
Yeah, it was a good deal, man. It was like enough. It was like almost in the city, but like suburban enough where like I could get like a lot of heads from Lawrence that were like fucking too pussy to go to Mill Hill. To be honest, like they'll say
I was
that.
gonna say,
People will be like, I'm not going to Mill Hill. I'm not parking there. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? Like. Like my show when I started at Mill Hill, my attendance dropped by like 99% for like that first couple years.
Really?
And there was like no rap in Trenton at that time because like the early 90s like killed it for that. Like there was just so much violence. Trenton was like a much worse place. And like my friends who like knew me through bands started letting me do stuff at like Mill or Champs, and it was like they'd have to like lie. They'd be like, yeah, it's a punk show. You know what I mean? And I'd have like punk rappers. But, like it's maybe some bands. And now like. Now there's a lot of hip hop in Trenton again. I'm not saying I did it. I'm just saying I was on the forefront. But no, it's cool, you know. Like I'm glad everything in Trenton's picks up every year. There's like a lot more going on. Yeah. But yeah, All Call was cool, and it did settle in Mill Hill because it's just like playing a New Brunswick basement, except it's in a bar.
Yeah.
It's
it's just a bit
closest thing to a house show. Yeah. In a bar you're gonna get ever. Champs is cool too. It's just a totally different vibe. Yeah. Way harder.
It's like so big too.
If you need a Tuesday night and no one's ever heard you in Trenton, Champs looks a lot emptier than Mill Hill does when like the 7 people show up.
Yeah, that's true. So at this point you're still like grinding it out with shows. You're doing stuff at Mill Hill now. Is this probably I feel like Dreadpool Parker is like a thing by now too by the time you're like really moving at Mill Hill.
Yeah.
That's you, Wade
Well,
Wilson, Treading.
It slowly became a thing. What's weird is how long that took. Like,
Yeah, tell me about how that happened.
I remember, you know, I started doing drugs on tour, which is funny. Like, I was always do a little bit of drugs here and there, but I didn't do like coke or anything like that. I started doing that like in West Virginia on that 30-day tour with those dudes. Like, I was like, fuck it, I'm doing this. I had the worst tour of my life. It was like the last day. And then, like, I remember...
The last day.
It was, like, the last day. And then I got back, and, like, all my friends were like, oh, Ray's a scumbag now, let's do this. And we'd be doing, like, coke off parked cars at all call. Like,
Park
in
cars.
the street. Yeah, like not our cars. Like, retarded. And, all that shit happened. I'm booking more at Mill. All my friends out here, like, who, like, I hang out with now, like, we had, like, almost, like, a falling out. Like, Nikki and everybody. Like, Nikki lived in New Brunswick for a while with me. And, like, we just, like, didn't really connect while I was doing all that homeless shit and touring.
Mm-hmm.
They were all, like, getting home, like, a home here in Trenton more than I even had. So, like, it's, like, very fair to, like, give them their credit for all the stuff they do in the scene, which is, like, back then we weren't really talking as much, even though we're, like, it's the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started connecting with dudes at Mill. And, like, Wade is, like, 1 in a million thing, too. Like, Wade is, like, a dude who hit me up and was like, you're doing this. Can we just, like, hang out? I want to do the same thing. Like, some real humble shit.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of times, I would just be like, fuck this dude. You know what I mean? And, like, for some reason with Wade, I was like, whatever. You want to come over? I'd be like, I don't know what I can do for you. I barely get by myself, you know?
Yeah.
You want to come over? And he, like, came over. I, like, didn't even put clothes on. I was in my underwear, drunk or something. And, like... And we just, like, hung out, and I was like, I don't know. I was, like, super hate mode all the time. Like, even if something was cool. Like, I'll look back on stuff, like, he showed me one of his videos, and I remember being like, this isn't that great. Yeah. And now when I watch that video, I'm like, this video is awesome. I was just being a fucking dick. And I would just I remember I was partying real hard one night, and I like, did more drugs than that. It was, like, a real fucking groundbreaking moment. Like, the most drugs I had ever done at that time. Like, we got, like... 10 8-balls or something, and it was like 4 a.m. I won't say anybody's name, and then we're like at a house in Ewing, and this girl had like this vial. We like ran out of like the brick of coke we bought. It was like already enough to like kill somebody, and it was like 4 of us.
Right.
And this girl had like, she was like, I got this vial, it's like my mix. And it was like this fucking like salt shaker thing of like blue powder. And I was like, what is it? And she just starts like fucking cereal box side of like pills. And it's just every upper and downer pill you could ever think of grinded into this jar. And we're all like, yup. And we just do this whole fucking jar of this drug now. I woke up in like the spare room at my friend's house next to this girl I didn't know. And I was like, I have to go rap with Wade and Dreddy. I told them, like, I'd be over there.
Oh, this is like the start of
this
Red
is
Bull.
like, yeah. And like, it's that morning. And I fucking... Seriously, like, Dreddy lives right over there. That's where it was, like a block up. Okay. And I didn't live in this neighborhood. I didn't know this neighborhood like that then. Yeah. And I drove over here, and I'm just like, the fucking song's writing itself. I'm not even like, who's that cat who does enough drugs to kill God and wakes up just to watch SpongeBob. And we record Sounds Like Drugs, and I was all fucked up still, and all my shit was off tempo and off beat. And, like, Roy was in there, and they're all like, this shit is fire. And I go back like 2 days later, and Wade shit all sounds great, and my shit's like completely off. Beat. And they're like, I just thought that was like some weird cool Keith shit you were doing. I was like, how the fuck I think my brain was like, it was like a turning point where I was like, maybe it was like getting cocky off like people knowing who I was. Yeah. But like I was like, I'm gonna take, like, I can take this just seriously enough again. Like, I'm not gonna take this for I'm not gonna on stage anymore. Yeah. So like Wade just like got in at the right time. Yeah. Like, kind of like sparked you a little bit where someone was like, yeah, I want to hang out. Yeah. You're doing this. And he wasn't the only person doing it, but he's like the only person that for some reason I was like, yeah, come over. Yeah. Like, fuck it. Like, I gotta do something. Let's get back on track, you know? And so we record that song, and then I remember being like, yo, a whole room of people just listen to me rap off beat, and we're like, that's how we're putting. I was like, we're not fucking. I remember being like, I'm putting my foot down. Like, I'm not putting out crap anymore. Yeah. I was like, let me finish this again. If it comes out wrong, we'll figure out what we're doing it, but I'm not letting you put that song out. Yeah. And we did it. Perfect.
Who's that cat who does enough drugs to kill God and wakes up just to watch reruns of SpongeBob? My crew rolls up, feels like you're standing on a fault line. Have Grip and Sullivan come through and rearrange your jawline. Rock basements, turning down the stadiums. Got my beer money selling terrorist uranium.
So we do that song. Like a week or two later, I start like, me and Camille break up, start dating Gretchen. It was all around the same time. Fucking like a week later.
I remember whenever you guys started dating.
It was like around that, cause we were like just getting annihilated trash.
Yeah,
and I
you
was driving
like
home
we
drunk.
we were sleeping above Champs one night, not me and Baker, and I passed out on the couch, and then I woke up the next morning, and you and Gretchen were laying on top of me, like not in like a sexual way, but like I had like the most room on my couch.
You're like not the only person to tell this story. You know what's so funny is I don't think me and her were even hooking up yet, and like come out of Roy's room
cool.
and sleep on me.
On me,
and
too.
then on you, yeah. And that's what would happen there. And there was like girls in between her and fucking Camille, and I was doing like a ton of fucking drugs with those. Like the girls were crazy. Like that was exactly who I was.
Yeah.
It was just crazy would attract crazy, and it was nuts. And I would just be fucking. I was playing a lot of New Brunswick shows because Dunfor was booking me and stuff.
Okay.
And it was like Next Generation Brunswick. Now he's like out, and there's like other Next Generation that book us there, and I'm just old as fuck. And like so like a week later we record like the Krabby Patty song too.
I'ma break it down to the nitty gritty one time. When it comes to the lyrics, I get busy with mine. Busy as your mom's bedroom on coupon day. I'm turning down girls who wanna hoop on Ray.
And I was like working all this time. I'm like delivering pizza like a fucking bum, like 60 hours a week. And I remember just like being like, because we would talk about comics, and she was Dreddy and like Dreadpool, like Wade Wilson, Deadpool. And I'm just like, in my head, I was like sweeping or something, or skateboarding outside without, like, when it was dead. And I was like, oh no, look, Peter Parker. And I was like, Deadpool Parker. And I was like, that's the worst name for a group ever. Like, no bullshit. The same thing with Crackfiller. I was like, that's the worst name ever. And everyone's like, I love it. And I remember just like texting them, like, hey man, since we were like, I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to stuff that's not my solo stuff. If you guys want to do something loose, and you guys will work for it too, because I'm just like doing stuff. Like Dreadpool Parker could be our name, and I came up with a bunch of lines that would be on the Krabby Patties that we could do back and forth, and it just slowly, like very slowly, we like finished. I guess we finished I'm Sorry I'm Broken like while the Dreadpool stuff started.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of crossing over timelines there.
Okay.
But, like then Wade moved to Hamilton Ave, and we recorded all that stuff there. And it was a crazy fucking last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I woke up 8 months ago. Decided to change everything.
Yeah, let's talk about that, I guess. You're like sober for the last 8 months, which is like everyone knew like Ray Strife drinks to excess every night. Yeah. Like there's so many lines. It's like I'm Ray Strife and I party. And you said before that you felt like that was like part of your personality.
Yeah, that's
it's like were you making the music or was the music making you?
Well, that's what's so
point?
Crazy. It's like it just seems like it's the same thing as Crackfiller. It's like you think like you're above like these fucking like stupid situations and stereotypes that you see in like a high school drama.
Yeah.
And you just end up living them. It's like self-fulfilling prophecy, and like that's like even like GDP has that song like Children Posing,
yeah.
And where it talks about your rap persona taking over, and like I feel like when I started writing like the To Live and Die in J stuff, like I was drinking every day and we were going to punk shows, but like I could have 3 days off and just like hang out with my girlfriend. Yeah. And it was like exaggerating. It was like a little more like I'll never stop drinking, and like, but I could like not.
And you
drink.
wrote that while sober. Or
I
something.
remember I was doing a lot of tours in between rap tours with like Karma Bat and Local Demise, or Idiot Boy and Local Demise, like bands from here.
Yeah.
Like members of Crackfiller, and like my ex-girlfriends being in the fucking bands and shit, and like I do like fucking 2 weeks with these bands. This is personal, but whatever. And like 2 ex-girlfriends would be in the car, and I would fucking get shithoused. Like I would just it's like not even like there was anything there to be triggered. Yeah. And it's like it was just like me romanticizing a reason to be fucked up. You know what I mean? And like and almost like showing off to them. Like this is who I am now. Yeah. And we'd like get to a show and I'd slam like fucking 10 shots of tequila before I even played. You know what I mean? Like it was just fucking getting ridiculous. And then that's like when this is like right before the Wade stuff too. Mm-hmm. So like
when you're doing that on
stage. Yeah, it started turning into that. Like I was just becoming like I thought I was like bigger than what I was making. Cause like not to sound cocky, but like in my mind I still am. Like this stuff is good. Yeah. That stuff sucked. It was like I was insulted that like everyone liked my stuff because I hated it. This is like some real dickhead shit.
Yeah, that's the most insane thing you've ever said.
Yeah, I was so upset about it a lot of the time because it felt so phoned into me. Yeah. And so, I took it all for granted. Like, not like I had such a great thing, but I had a lot of cool stuff, and I took it all for granted. And yeah, I just like started. I remember living with Camille in an apartment in Levittown, which is like a little further in PA than we were,
Okay.
and getting off one of those tours where I was just like slamming drinks every day and being like no shower. You know, you've been on tour with me where I didn't take my shoes off or whatever. And like I remember getting home and being like, normally I'd be like, well, tonight's the night to rest.
Yeah.
And I remember like being like, I like calling Camille, like, get me a couple Hurricane 40s. Like, and I got home and like instead of showering like 14 days of scum off me, I was like, well, here's what this tour was like. And I just cracked, instead of like treating my girlfriend like a human being, like just getting fucking shithoused in front of her at our apartment, and just like never stopping until 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Like just never, like this, like I think I was just so fucking miserable. Like I was super unhappy with the music I was making, and I was super unhappy with like my romance life. I was just like dating people like for like years, and we weren't happy together. And I just want to be like, this is what people do, you know. And I would like cheat on them, and then I'd be fucked up all the time. And I just was like, this is what life is. Like, you're just never gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So why would you stop? And it just became this like, I'm writing depressing songs about how shitty my life is and making jokes out of it and how drunk I am. And then it was just like, I became way worse than what I was even writing. Like, I couldn't even exaggerate anymore. Like, I could try, but I was just outdoing myself. I couldn't make it up anymore. There was like no fiction at all.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Like, what was like, was there like a tipping point that you're like, was there any sort of eye opener that it was like, I don't want this forever, or it just like...
I still think like, it's like when you like, if you really want to die or whatever, like you think, like you just kill yourself or whatever. But I always like admit, like I would be too pussy to kill myself or whatever. And I don't want to kill myself. Like I still was like having fun being drunk, just like hating who I was. But I just to like find people like me.
Have fun being drunk while you're drunk.
Yeah, and like I would fucking, you know, do all that, and I just kind of like, I'd be like, well, life is pointless and I'm gonna die. But every year I'm not dying and I'm getting older. So like every year it's like I'm thinking like, I can't ever stop what I've already made. Like, what am I gonna do now? Like, be a doctor? You know what I mean? Like, I've like turned 30 at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking like, this is not, there's no stopping now. There's no turning anything around.
Okay.
And like me and Gretchen dating are like, she's that exact same thing.
Yeah.
She was just like a fucking nightmare on wheels, and we loved that shit. We were like, let's get all fucked up and do everything wrong. Turn the headlights off, like crash into a car, like fucking, you know, let's fight this dude at the bar. And I fucking like, it's like a bad movie, and that's like who my heroes were growing up, like a shitty movie about a guy who does shit like that. Yeah. That's like who I wish I was. And then I was that guy, and it's a mess. And I think I just kept getting older, not dying. And then it's just like health was taking its toll, and I was even beyond depressed. And then it's like, now I'm just drinking to drink. I'm not even going. I'm sick of the people I see. I'm sick of doing the same fucking thing or getting into fights so then I'm just drinking all night or doing drugs all night with the clowns in this house. And me and Gretchen are like, we're in love and then we're fighting, or then we make up and then we're fighting. It's just a fucking stereotype. We're on the street, the cops are coming. It's just like every year it's getting worse, and I'm just like wishing I could quit, and there's no way I ever could. And then my fucking side started hurting. And I was like, I don't want to know what that is. I'm going to die. I don't want to know what that is that hurts. So my side hurt for a year. And I just never stopped drinking or doing drugs. And I was like, oh, my side hurts.
Yeah.
And then
just like something in your stomach, you mean?
Yeah, like right over here.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's my pancreas.
Okay.
And I never, one night, now we're up to like last year.
Okay.
And like me and Frank and Liz Cisco did like Molly for like 72 hours. And like we're just drunk and just doing Molly, and we're like leaving the house in the middle of the day, like bugged the fuck, like fucking weirdo. Like we went to people's houses I know and shit, and we're like we can't, like I'm like, I can't touch this table, because like it was like some real fucking scumbag drug shit where you're like, wish these people weren't in my house.
Yeah. And
like after like 3 days of like we keep buying drugs because like we felt so good the first day. And now we're all stressed out and crying on each other for like, people are coming in here. We're like crying, like Gretchen's coming in here, like, you guys are still on Molly, huh? And like, so like, the third day or something, it was like noon. And like, we seriously like didn't sleep for 3 days. And like, I was like, I'm going to sleep. And I laid down and I was like, my back hurt. And like, my back never hurts. in pretty good shape other than like my insides. And like it hurt like excruciatingly, and I was like, I just blew my kidney out or something. Like that was it. Because we're like snorting Molly, snorting Coke, drinking like 30-pack every couple hours.
Yeah,
like,
you can't. Yeah.
It was a nightmare, and like, so I'm like, I have to go to the hospital. Like, I never go to the hospital. I'm fucking 3 days into a drug binge. I guess I'm like paranoid, and I'm like, someone's got to take me to the hospital. Everyone here is like, no, like we're not driving you to a hospital. Like, there's no way we can drive. Like nobody wants to get in trouble.
Yeah.
No, and I was like, fuck it. So I drive myself to the hospital, all fucked up, and they take blood, and I was just so scared to find out what's wrong with me. So like, I never told them what I was doing all weekend. I didn't tell them anything. Like I was like, they'd find out, they're taking blood, right? So like, the nurse comes back and she's like, nothing wrong with your back, nothing wrong with your kidneys. You must have just pulled something. And I was like, so my kidneys and liver. And they're like, 100%. And I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, I'm kind of an alcoholic. I just want to say that. And she's like, well, that would explain your pancreas is kind of like redlining. So that's like a horrible way to die. So you might want to cut down on the drink. And I didn't hear any of that. All I heard, I swear to God, dude, all I heard was your liver and your fucking kidneys are 100%. And I was like, I got to make some life changes. I got a second lease on life. I think I was sober for like 3 days. I was like, yeah, I'm just cutting down. Bam, right back to fucking drugs and drinking every day, every morning, before work, everything. And then it just kept hurting, man. And like, I was just like, I'm killing my pancreas. But I'm like, I'm fucking not that old. Like, people do this forever till they die. Like, because, like, nobody young ever dies, right? Like, I'm just so stupid,
it's like,
dude.
I don't know,
like,
man.
Nobody, like, I just don't, my brain is, like, just tries to justify things for me. And, like, so, I don't know, man. Like, me and Gretchen just kept getting, like, at some point, like, I convinced myself that I was, like, miserable with Gretchen. It probably wasn't even her fault. It was, like, my fault. And I just, like, super distanced myself. And it got, like, super dysfunctional. And we'd, like, make up and be in love. And I'd feel bad. And then it would be, like, 1 week, one of us would set each other off. And it would be like the World War III. Like, it'd just be a nightmare. Shit broken, like, cops coming. And, like, I don't know. So there's 4 years of, like, this shit. And, like, I'm just waking up worse and worse. So, like, what I did one day was I got this fucking bike out of the basement. And I was like, I'm riding this bike everywhere. I wasn't sober. I started riding the bike everywhere, right? And my car ate shit. And that was my only source of money, was this crutch of, like, delivery driving for 8 years. So, like, the car finally ate shit to a point where I was like, I don't care. Like, no one here was doing anything right. The bills weren't getting paid right. Gretchen already moved out, even though we didn't break up. It was just, like, didn't matter what I did because that house was already all fucked up. So I was just like, I'm not working anymore. And I just stopped. I just, like, stopped going to that job. I rode my bike everywhere I went, to the bar, to wherever. And, like, I started fucking seriously just, like, cleaning the toilets at Champs and sweeping. And they'd give me, like, $20 to $40 for my day. And I'd go spend it at the coffee shop, like, part of it, and then eat or whatever. And I slowly started, like, just, like, doing less of, like, going completely nuts. Like, I'd be nuts here after a show with everybody or whatever. And I was slowly, like, drinking more, like, just drinking, but, like, not, it was just me drinking. Like, I'd be depressed drinking by myself, not, like, at a party. And eventually, like, I don't know, Gretchen came in, and it was like, she was like, this is it, like, we're gonna fucking fool around, or me and Ray are done, you know what I mean? And it was, like, gross, like, she's fucking drunker than me. And I was like, can't do this, it was weird. And she's like, fuck you, we're done. And I was like, yeah, we are fucking, like, she's like, this is how it happened. She goes, so why don't you just break up with me? And I was like, I guess I'll break up with you then. So I did it. That's what happens, you know what I mean? So it's my fault. And that was the breakup. That we broke up. Like, it was a fucking 100, like, I've never had that happen. Like, she walked out, and we're done. Barely talked after that. And I think I drank for 2 weeks. I was, like, infinitely happier already. Like, I feel bad. She's a good person in her own respect. It just wasn't for us.
It wasn't a good match.
And I just, like, it was, like, 2 weeks in, people were, like, knew my situation. I'm just, like, a broken fucking man. You know, like, I'm fucking sweeping out front of Champs. Like, who? Like, this fucking, I felt like every, like, broken down alcoholic at, like, 60. You know, can't keep a job. Scumbag shit. And I just woke up one day, and I was like, every morning that year I woke up, like, my pancreas hurts, and I'm gonna die, and I have to stop drinking. And I just never did it. And someone would have drugs down here, and I'd do them, like, before work. And then, like, 2 weeks of me and her being broken up, I just woke up, and I was like, it's never gonna happen. Like, it has to happen right now, or it's never gonna happen. And I just stopped.
Yeah.
And that was 8 months ago. And then everything fell into place. Everything in my life fell into place after I stopped. I got a new job.
Yeah.
I got a fucking new job. I rode my bike everywhere. It was like baby steps. It was like just appreciate the little things in my life.
Yeah.
And everything just kept getting better.
Yeah.
I guess people saw me trying to appreciate the little stuff. And like, I swear to God, all my friends right now are like the best friends I've ever had in my life because I think they just saw like what I was going through and they just wanted me out of it. And it just like worked out that way. Yeah. So I don't know if I really said any of that out loud before, so that was like emotional.
Yeah, man. No, that was good to hear. Yeah, I don't even know how the fuck to follow that up.
I think without buying a bike, without Abdul opening that coffee shop, and without like as much as like even like I'll joke about champs being hippies, they're the best people in the world.
Yeah.
Without the three of them, those things factoring in those like last couple weeks before I stopped drinking, like I would have never stopped.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was like a very simple level of like love in this city.
Yeah.
Made me feel like it was enough to keep like trying.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I can relate to like the bike thing because like bikes are awesome. It's
man.
Like it's
a
great way
hating on it.
Yeah, to experience your city and like really feel like you're a part of it and get like a workout and release like some endorphins naturally instead of like taking Molly and then releasing too many and being depressed for days.
Yep, yeah, and like it's true, and like, you know, I ride my bike to work and I'm like, I earned this. Like I earned this day.
Yeah.
This is my job. This is what I do, and I rode my fucking bike here. Like I didn't do it the easiest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me feel better about everything I do. It's like it's a big mantra for me is like not taking shit for granted anymore. So like riding my bike places makes me not take the effort it takes to do anything for granted.
Yeah,
like if I need something to eat or need to visit someone I care about, I have to make that choice to go do that, no matter if it's fucking 3 miles or like 20. And then it just feels like everything matters more.
Yeah.
And I guess like I didn't mean for the bike to do that for me.
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. You should sell bikes now. Let me tell you how this bike's going to change your life.
That was fucked up.
This is great. I feel like now you're just like on fire. You're just like making up for lost time. You just put out that EP, which you didn't even like mean to hype up, and like it's catching on.
It's
and,
great. Like,
tell me about all your projects now.
We did Darnell's someone I've known since like early New Brunswick, and he's from the same neighborhood as me, which is funny. I don't know, like it's just something where like it just like I just wasn't clicking anywhere, and like Darnell, like I've always, as much as like people think like I'm an indie rapper, like I've always been into like gangster shit and like stuff like that. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
And like the fucking like industry beats to me, like trap's like a weird trend that took on, but I like a hard hitting fucking synthy beat that's like a mainstream thing. I fucking love shit like that. Yeah. And like that's the kind of shit Darnell makes. And like I guess like I was just kind of over myself or any like preconceived like notions people had of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we sat down and did a couple things while I was kind of in my last year of being fucked up.
Yeah.
And we like talked about the project I wanted to do, but I couldn't get it together. But we had like 2 or 3 songs like finished. And then like same time, man, like that same like 2 weeks that like I got the new job, me and Gretchen broke up. I stopped drinking. Me and him started like I was like if we put it together that we'll record every Sunday, I'll be here every Sunday. And we banged out like fucking 20 songs the first like 2 months.
Jesus.
And like that's the fucking full length.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like, I always get so flustered with like a plan to put an album out. And like now I'm just so much more focused. I'm like,
you have like
steps.
the vision and
and I had a lot to say. Like half the album's like me getting fucked up, and the other half's like me getting out of it. And like it's not a preachy album. It's just about me. It's about what I'm going through. Like I don't care what people do. Still hang out with the bar. I work at the bar 3 nights a week. And but like it all came together, and we start coming up with this plan, and we just we bang out all this shit in like the last I'd say like the last 2 or 3 months we haven't really had to work on much. But on the way of like rap, like I could just never wrap up the fucking album. It was like, I wrote this today at work. And I'd write like fucking 2 like 32 bar verses, and I'd be like, there doesn't need to be a hook. And I'd go in, and I wouldn't tell Darnell shit. And I'd get to the top of the staircase. He lives in like the low rises by the towers downtown, like right across from Mill. And he'd be making a beat, and I'd be like, this is perfect. And I'd just be like, hit the record, and I would just fucking like first take it, like with something he was making while I was climbing the stairs to something I wrote, like on the way there. And that's like the fucking album, and I think I really love it. Like I'm very happy with it. But the EP was even funnier because like we finished I was like, it's like 18 songs. And I was like, okay, it's done. And he's like, this is too much. I'm like, nah, it's perfect. If you listen to it, it's like an hour, 10 minutes, but it flows really. You're like, what can I get rid of? And everyone I've like let listen to it, they're like, I wouldn't drop any of this. So the one night I was like, well, I would like to do like an EP that comes out before and then an EP that comes out after. And I was super fucking tired from like working. And Rich Quick came up to do a verse for the album, and he just threw another verse down on a different beat. And I did my verse, and we're like, okay, so that'll be the start of the EP. And then Darnell had something the dude Rocky rapped on, and I put a verse on that, and he was like, let's just do the EP. And we did it that night. So the EP I just released, we did it in that one night. And I wrote that America song that day because I was listening to Elliott Smith all day.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, because that fucking song doesn't need to be, 16 bars, 8-bar hook, 16 bars, 8-bar hooks.
And that's what you were saying before.
I was stuck.
Confined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always jealous of like Dunfor can't really count bars.
Yeah.
And his
it's
songs,
kind of nice
his
sometimes.
structures are awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like by accident. And like I always was fucking I'm like, I wish I never learned how to count bars because I like the way you do your hook wherever you want.
Yeah.
Or do your hook different the second time.
And rhyme wherever you want and shit
but
too.
I feel like I thought there was a lot of fear I had getting sober. I had a big fear of like not being funny or charming. I had a big fear of like not being able to like deliver like rap shit. Like just not having anything to say. And then like I like everything I've done in the last 8 months better than any music I've made before. And it just came out so naturally. And the structures just work so well. Like everything, nothing has a super like average structure. Like a couple of like the posse cuts are like 3 verses and then 3 hooks. Okay. But like a lot of all those solo stuff will be like me and I'll rap for like 16 bars and then Robus will rap for like 32 and then we'll do like a hook that's just one word. And I'm like, this fucking song is gold. Next song. It's got a lot of range. And Darnell's production is just like retarded. It's like the best. Like I'd put him up against anybody right now. He's just like on fire. It's ridiculous. It's like I'm very happy with the EP, but the EP like besides like that last track, the I Will Never Be Beautiful, like I feel like the EP doesn't really like hold a candle to what the album is. It's just like a very good EP solidly on its own, but it doesn't the way like how big the album is, it doesn't really capture that. It's like I sound like a dick, but like I don't mean like in a cocky way. I just feel really good about it. Yeah. And one thing I want to do before I put the 3rd installment out, which that's not done, but the full length is I want to put out the Tabasco Cat shit me and Robus never released.
Oh, is that all done?
We didn't like it. We did 4 songs.
Okay.
I think we did 5, but I'm saying 4 because one sucks.
When were those written?
Right around like right after Dreadpool.
Okay.
Like and Darnell would send us the beats, but we'd record them at Wade's. But we'd all be getting fucked up. And we'd get like a song done or a verse done, and same thing as like the Swiss cheese shit. Like we'd be like, that's a pretty good day. I think we could just drink for the rest of the night. You know, drink and hug and laugh.
Drink and hug.
Yeah, that's what we'd do. And like, man, whatever, like in I guess in perspective, like I don't mean to be talking shit about anybody, like especially Gretchen. Like that was like just like it was just us. Like it wasn't her. It wasn't her fault anything was bad. It was like our fault. Fucking Head Trip said it, man. He said his wife said it. He was like, when you're having a problem with like your significant other, it's not like them. They're them and you're you, and then the relationship's like a third person. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and if you can look at it that way, it's like so much like healthier. But it's so hard to look at it that way. It's so hard to not take things personal. Yeah. But like in, retrospect, like that's exactly like the third thing was what's wrong.
Yeah, that's a crazy way to look. That's
blew
genius,
my mind.
Though. Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind when he said that. Head Trip, well, his wife. Yeah. Was a very insightful person.
Yeah. Word, man.
Comics was a huge habit for me to kick too.
You're kicking that habit?
Well, I feel like I just spend too much money on it, so like I really don't read comics anymore.
Really?
And it's like it's actually like another addiction that I'm kind of glad I got rid of. Like,
yeah. Tell me about that, because that was like.
I was spending it was like my positive hobby. It's like, this is not drugs or booze. Yeah. But like I was spending like $70 a week. Yeah. And like now I have all this money, and I'm like, yeah, comics was probably a huge part of that. Like besides the fucking drugs and alcohol. So like, I loved it. I love keeping up. It's like I have a problem though. It's like obsessive compulsive. Like I'll watch any movie I haven't seen, whether it's good or bad, and now I have the knowledge of like that movie. Yeah. Like even and like I'll do the same thing with comics. Now I'm buying like like a run of comics that sucks.
Yeah,
'Cause I want to
just
see
to
where it
know.
goes.
Yeah.
And it's like Marvel doesn't care that my favorite character is in a great book and a bad book at the same time, and I'm following the arc. They just want to sell the book. So like it's just like you become like bitter about it. Like I'm giving them money and one book sucks and one book is gold.
Right.
But like I don't want to differentiate because I want to know everything that's happening. I want to be able to like when someone's like, well, what happened with Wolverine this week? I'm like, oh, what book? What Wolverine? Like what universe? Like I know all of them.
Yeah.
And that's like a bad habit for me that I have. And I
Yeah.
don't, you see I got like fucking 20,000 comic books upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's like a fucking, like I think I just have like obsessive compulsive tendencies.
Yeah, it seems like you're either like all in
For
or all
everything.
out. Yeah.
And I think that's a huge problem with
Yeah.
like, and like, that's like what happens with like the booth.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. No, it's like 2 cocktails. Hey, listen, I'm in it to win this.
Yeah.
No one can outdrink me. I miss it sometimes, but not really, because like I also did
booze
it for
or
so
comics?
long. Booze, really, because
Yeah.
comics I can still like pick up a comic and read
Yeah.
it. I can still like. I'm very good at knowing what goes on. Like if I catch something halfway through. Yeah.
You were saying with the booze though, like you already did it and like this and that.
Yeah, well, I
You
did
just-
everything.
Yeah.
You know, like, so when I do feel like I wish, because I don't really even know if I don't know if I even, like, believe in, like, alcoholism. Like, I feel like I just pushed myself to that place. Like, maybe it's a different mental thing, like the OCD or something. But, like, I just, for me, like, I don't know, like, when I do want to do it, if I just get past that moment, I'm like, yeah, I would have just been drunk, and then whatever happened that night, it
Yeah.
happened a million times.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. It's just like a breakup. It's so easy to remember all the great stuff, but not the bad stuff. And like that last night, I keep forgetting. Like
It's
I
like
quit.
hard to remember pain.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
keep like forgetting that I quit because of fucking. I think like I just quit to be the man. I'm like, oh yeah, my fucking.
Oh,
pancreas
yeah, I was
gonna
dying.
burst. Yeah, couldn't shit for fucking months, you know. And I feel like that last year, if I remember that, I'm like, dude, you were fucking like going to the bar to be miserable, and then coming home to drink to be miserable. Like I wasn't like having a blast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was like going, wish I could stop this. I'm gonna die. And it's like fun to be around 10 other people doing that because like I'm good at it. Like people, that's when like Nikki from Molly Rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't get drunk that often, but she'd get trashed with me, like especially in New Brunswick. And she's like, you're just good at it. Like you can go out with me. Like I don't fucking stumble down and throw up. I go find like shit for us to get into. Like I go find a fucking stranger. So,
Yeah.
like go to their party or something. I'm just good at being fucked up. So like I don't know. I just have to remember like that like it was mostly miserable though. Like when the night was over,
Yeah.
I was done. I've done it like how many times can you do the same fucking thing? So,
Yeah.
And you get in a couple fights and two, and if you like almost win, you look like the man. You know what I mean? It gets rid of your inhibitions. Yeah. If you get beat up, if you're like standing up for something, yeah, like you just logically you're like I don't have to fight anybody. But like you're drunk, you're like he can't say that. People are like Ray stands up for shit. Look at him go. Yeah, I remember doing that. Just woke up with my nose crooked one day.
Oh man. All right. I think this went pretty long so far.
Okay, yeah. I just
No,
rambling, man.
no, it's cool. I can always trim it up a little bit. Yeah. So what should we end this on? You got the project with Darnell coming out. The old Tabasco cats will come out.
I
You
think
biking. You're
Yeah.
working. You're still booking. Well, you're still helping with shows and
Yeah.
stuff at.
I think everything's
Mill
going
Hill.
great, man. I think I keep working on projects. There's so much art here that like I'm not like an art dude, but like I love all my friends and like there's people making movies here. I'm like doing some writing with them.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing different stuff like that, and
That's cool.
I've always like me and Goggles. I have contributed songs to like movies, and we've talked about stuff. But we're gonna start writing a film. I hope that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
He's like super talented and makes great movies, and people see them. And I don't know. I'm doing the tour with Head Trip in June and July, and then I'm doing a West Coast tour with Juicy Carcass.
Oh,
in
really?
November,
Nice.
and we're supposed to
Two
hit
sober
Mexico.
guys. Oh, you going
Yeah.
to Mexico?
That's the plan. I don't know. So that's the plan, and everything's going so good. I don't know. I feel like I never felt like I could do stuff before. Like if I set a goal, it would be like maybe, hopefully that happens. And I feel like since I got sober, I set realistic goals, and so far like I've achieved all of them.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the most unrealistic goal is the girl I date right now, and I nailed it. So like fuck it. Like I don't think. I don't know, man. Like I don't like want to grow up still and shit, but I don't know, man. I don't think like being like maybe moving in my future or like having a better job while I still do music or still write or still like do other art stuff. I'm not that old yet. Could work, you know, and I don't know like about like family or whatever. This is like washed up sober shit, but like I don't know. Maybe I just like love my life right now. And
That's
I do,
awesome.
I still feel like I'm living like I could die because like I never went back to the doctor. Like so in my mind I'm like this is the last year, live it up, you know. So sometimes I feel like I'm rushing things because I do want like to enjoy what I have left of like whatever youth or whatever. And, but I don't know, man. Like I feel like I love the girl I'm with. I love where I'm at. I even love my jobs right now.
That's awesome, dude.
So,
you're like so much more positive now. You know? Like
and it's you know it's like it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like you don't see that when you're all fucked up. You know, you just see the bad. I think I just kind of gave up, but also quit drinking and kind of just like giving up on like caring like so much or stressing. I just like saw like that so many people cared about me more than I thought they did.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like a weird feeling. I just didn't know, you know. I guess I just didn't notice. And like so many of them are like my closest friends now that I wasn't really spending that much time with till this stuff happened. So I guess like, you know, just not taking shit for granted, but I would like to just make my future a little bit bigger. I guess that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Cool, man. That's sick. No, this is rad. Super posy shit. We'll just wrap it up there.
Cool, man. Yeah, I want to get posy tattooed up, you know?
Stay
Khalil
posy,
line.
bro.
Stay posy, bro.
Back in the studio with Omega.
Put the motherfucking hands up. Put the motherfucking hands up. Put the motherfucking hands up. Put the motherfucking hands
You
up.
either sell out or live long enough to wish you did. America tells your kids if they're not famous, they're not shit. I'm doing my best to do more than just live. Everybody take it. Somebody needs to give. Wouldn't it be nice if your passion paid the bills? Everybody wants the fast cars and expensive thrills. I just want to feel content before I'm in a landfill. Wouldn't it be nice to be big enough to get killed? Wouldn't your fans' love justify a suicide? Wouldn't the world finally make sense if you died? Are we too self-important to realize how great we could be? Are we that full of pride? Too proud of the man I am to realize that I'm not worthless. Wanting happiness while thinking that I don't deserve it. Wishing for perfection, not realizing we're perfect. I'm too proud to let people know who care that I'm hurting. We romanticize addiction, romanticize pain, idolizing fiction, romanticizing fame, trying to be depictions, trying to fit inside a frame. We want what we're not missing. We're only built to be ashamed. America, 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 America.
Put the motherfucking hands up. Put the motherfucking hands up. Put the motherfucking hands up.